Hi everyone, it's Emma, and today I'm talking about my current reads. I'm going to do a little reading update, talk about some things that I have read recently, but most of all talk about what I'm currently reading. I've been in the best reading mood ever since Book Expo and BookCon. Getting all of these books that I was so excited for, and then meeting authors and hearing authors talk about their books, it just put me in this excited reading mood that has been carrying out for the past week and a half. So today I'm going to talk about what I'm currently reading and what I'm loving, because I'm loving all my current reads so much. First of all, I did want to mention something that I finished recently. It is Check Please Book 1. I was planning to talk about this in my currently reading video. However, I ended up finishing it in one sitting, and I intended to make it last, but then I just couldn't stop reading and I finished it up. This is an arc of the physical copy of a webcomic called Check Please. So you can read this comic, this story right here that I have in my hands. You can read it online. The author Ngozi Ukazu published it online first, and now they are being published in physical copies, which is so exciting because it's so beautiful. I have a really hard time reading webcomics and reading manga in a digital form. I did go online and continue reading because there is more out than what is contained in this bind-up. This is the story of a boy named Biddy. When the story starts, he's going into his freshman year of college, and he is on the hockey team for his college. Biddy is like the purest character you can imagine. He loves to bake. He's constantly baking people like welcome pies and like friendship pies and stuff, and it is just literally the cutest thing ever. I really love the friendship in this. It is often compared to the Foxhole Court, and I think that the reason for that is because the friendships amongst the guys on this hockey team plays a big part of the story, and I love it. I love it so much. Recently, one of you guys asked me for a story that is similar to the Foxhole Court, but without all the trigger warnings and the intense violence and stuff that goes on in that book series. This is the perfect answer. It has all the appeal of the character-driven story that the Foxhole Court has in like a very pure, adorable story. I will say that there's a lot of cussing, so if that bothers you, this bind-up contains year 1 and year 2 of his college life. I think year 3 is already out online and year 4 is ongoing online, so I'm hopeful that once both of those years are done, they will also bind that up and publish it in a physical copy like this. Oh, Ginger. Oh my gosh. Please don't knock over my tripod. So it is separated into like freshman and sophomore year. The character Biddy, he kind of keeps like a vlog journal. So he'll be like talking to his camera and explaining what's going on in his life. I just love it. He has such good humor, and I think that really makes it because he is this cinnamon roll character, but he also is really sassy. I also love the art style and the character design. All of them have like these really bubbly eyes, as you can see on the cover. It's like very cutesy and blushy. It's just great. I just love it. This does come out September, but like I said, you can read it online now as well if you would like to. Now, the first book that I'm currently smack in the middle of is Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs. This is the third book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series, which was a trilogy, but now we're getting a fourth book. Since the fourth book is coming out fairly soon, I wanted to finally finish this book. I have been holding off, not because I didn't want to read it, but because I didn't want to finish it. I love this series, and it's always what I want to read in the fall time, so I was just not looking forward to being done with it. However, then the fourth book was announced and the cover came out, and then I met Ransom Riggs at BookCon and I was like, okay, it's time. I have to give in. I have to finish this book. I'm currently 233 pages in, and it's like 460 pages or something like that. I am loving it. This one is especially creepy and gruesome. I feel like it's grosser than the other ones, but maybe I'm just forgetting. For that reason, I'm not flying through this because although it doesn't bother me, it's not something that I can like sit and read 200 pages of in one sitting just because I'm like, ew. I am so interested to see how this ends because I do know that it was intended to just be 3 books and then he decided to expand it into more books. So I'm curious to see how satisfied I am with this ending and to see if I would have been happy with it just having been 3 books. However, I kind of trust Ransom Riggs as an author, so I'm trusting that the other books will be just as good as this one. I'm just curious to see what I think of the end of this one as like an ending to a trilogy. At this point of the book, I'm halfway through, and one of the things that is standing out to me is that I really have no idea where it's going. I keep having like this foreboding feeling that something bad is gonna happen, and then it doesn't happen. I'm so untrusting of everybody that they meet in this book, and so far it has not played out the way that I'm expecting it to. Like, they're not being betrayed at every turn. So I'm not sure if it's like the writing that's writing it that way to be foreboding, or if it's just me and I'm like a really not trusting person. This is a little bit spoilery, so if you don't want to hear and you haven't read this book, just skip a little bit because I just want to say this one thing. I think my favorite thing about this book is that you're getting to see Jacob's powers expand a lot, and you're getting to see him turn into like this really powerful peculiar. However, he like doesn't have any faith in himself whatsoever. So I love that dynamic, that he is like really powerful and has this skill that is so unique and so useful, and yet he doesn't really like trust himself with it. I also would just like to say that I'm using my Map of Days photo booth picture as my bookmark, and every time I like go to read or go to stop reading, it just makes me happy. The next book that I'm in the middle of is Save the Date by Morgan Matson. This one I am 123 pages in, and it's like maybe 400 pages long. This one I'm trying to read a little bit slower than Library of Souls. I want to finish Library of Souls first, and this one I'm going to bring to VidCon with me this coming week. This is going to be like my plain read and everything. I talked about this in my summer reads video that just went up the other day, but this was one of the contemporaries that I decided to read this year, and I'm so glad I did. I put on my story that I was trying to decide whether I should read this one or Stay Sweet by Siobhan Vivian, and a couple of my friends were like, Emma, you have to read Save the Date! So I decided to trust them and read it first, and I'm so glad that I did because this book is literally one of my favorite movies in book form. I am a huge fan of the Christmas movie Family Stone. Like, I will watch it at any point during the year, even though it's technically a Christmas movie. And this book has so many similar elements in it. It all centers around one weekend with this family. There's lots of kids in this family, and they are all coming together for one of these siblings' weddings. It kind of follows the youngest girl, Charlie, and she is trying to hold everything together because obviously when a big family and a wedding is involved and it's a YA contemporary, things are not going to go smoothly. The thing that reminds me most about Family Stone is that one of the brothers of the family brings his girlfriend home for the wedding, and he like doesn't tell anyone, and she is like a doctor, very successful, all dressed up, standing in like her super high heels in their family kitchen, and the closeness of this family and then her coming into the family and them not being very open to it is just so like Family Stone. So I am loving that dynamic. This family is a lot less dysfunctional than the family in Family Stone, so it's like sweeter and less angsty, I guess. I'm so here for like family dynamics and brothers and sisters and like relationships between them all. That stuff in books is my fave because I also do relate to this family dynamic. Like, my family is really close. There's only 3 of us kids, but it still functions in a similar way. Like, if we're all home together, it's very loud, and it often is difficult for someone to come in and just like be a part of our family dynamic because we're all so close and we have like so many inside jokes. We quote so many movie references. So I relate to this family for that reason, and I love it. I have one more book that I'm currently in the middle of. However, I kind of don't want to talk about it. I'm failing, you guys. I have to talk about it though, because everyone keeps asking me for an update. And that is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I am still about halfway through this one, but I've not read any of it since New York. I meant to finish it before New York, and then I got distracted by other books and I had so much pre-filming to do. I was so busy before New York that I didn't end up finishing it. The reason that I wanted to finish it beforehand is because I knew I was going to come home with all these books, and I knew that this one would get forgotten. However, I have promised myself that I will not buy A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir, which is one of my most anticipated reads of this year, until I finish this one. This one is too big for me to travel with. Like, I really don't want to carry this on an airplane, which is part of the reason why it has been forgotten a little bit, because I have been traveling. But when I get back from California, this will be my priority, I promise. I will probably just try and finish it up real quick in the exhausted days following my trip, and then I can read whatever I want. I don't really have much of an update because I think the last time I did a currently reading video, I was in a pretty similar place, but I was really loving this book. I was really excited to see what was gonna happen with the characters, and I almost got spoiled for something about it at BookCon, so I'm definitely motivated to finish it. I'm not gonna forget it, I promise. So yes, I will keep you guys posted. That's all I have to say about that. I'm sorry, I love you. I've been drinking iced coffee while I filmed this video, and I'm pretty sure I just got like more and more hyper as I was filming. So I really have to stop now because I'm about to hit like the hyper wall, which you guys have never seen me. So it's time to stop filming. Those are all the books that I'm currently in the middle of. I would love to know down in the comments what you guys are currently reading and what you are thinking of it. I am so happy that it is summertime and time for summer reading, because even though I'm not in school, I still tend to read more during the summertime. I do live in an area where I can get to the beach pretty easily, so I think maybe that is it. Just love summertime for reading. It's just my favorite. So I've been having so much fun with my current reads. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope that you have a lovely day or night or afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, and I will see you in my next video.